Hello everyone and welcome to my worst reads of 2025. I'm so looking forward to making this video because I did not have a good reading year. Honestly, I look at my Goodreads and I'm like, wow, so many of these books could be in this video. I read so many books that I disliked. I think this is my worst, I think it is like my worst reading year yet, which is crazy. Now, none of these books are like, I just didn't like this book. It's like they make me upset. Like when I see the cover for these books, I feel like why did I buy this? Or why did I waste my time on this book? I have a very negative reaction to these books. So the first one, if you loved this book, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that you love this book because it was not a short book and it was highly anticipated. I hated this book. This book made me so upset. Like, I'm so over this series. And I loved Fourth Wing. I thought it was so fun. Like, granted, like, I know this is a romantasy. This isn't like amazing literature. It's fun. It's, you know, there are dragons. I think Fourth Wing was the first book that I ever read that had dragons, so it was like new and exciting. I am over Xaden and Violet. Like, she annoyed me so much in this book. I feel like all she could talk about was how much she liked how he looked and what she wanted to do to him. That like stood out to me so much in this book. And like the dragons were not enough to keep me interested because she just irritated me so much. And then Xaden, I guess this is a spoiler, is supposed to be, you know, infected. And he's like not during this book. I thought this could have been so much better after such a crazy ending to book 2. And this was awful. Now, I'm willing to admit that this could be a me problem because I know so many people loved it. And I did read this in my first trimester of pregnancy. And I think that might have contributed to how much I hate this. I'm wondering, and I would not reread this, but if I read it now, if I would like it more. Like, I do think I might, but just going off of my reading experience and what, I mean, I still feel like my thoughts are valid even though I was pregnant and probably grouchy with this book, that I just think this is her worst. I think the books have gradually gotten worse, and that as of right now, I don't think I'm going to read, I probably will not read the next one. I don't want to say I won't, because what if it comes out and then I'm like excited to read? I don't know. But I hated this book. It made me so upset. I'm going to keep it because I want it. Like, I really have a hard time getting rid of books. But yeah, this is my first, like, I look at this book and I'm like, oh my gosh, that stupid book. The next book might also just me, I'm willing to admit, it could be a me thing. This is my least favorite Darcy Coates. This is, oh, I didn't even say the title of the other one, but you guys can see it. This is Where He Can't Find You. I was so excited to read this. As soon as it came out, I purchased it right away. Like, I love quite a few Darcy Coates books, but this felt like Stranger Things, but not as good or as scary. So this is, I feel like, very light horror, and I was expecting more. Darcy Coates' Hunted is one of my favorites, and that has more like body horror and like suspenseful moments to it. And that was the Darcy Coates that I read before this one. Like, that was the last Darcy Coates that I read. So I think I had really high expectations for this one to be like scary and kind of gory. And it was very light horror, but it might be for someone who doesn't want to read about those things, like someone that likes more, I don't know, nostalgic 80s, like light, very light horror. So it just wasn't interesting to me. It was not what I expected it to be. And maybe I should have known, just with the age that we're following. I think we're following 2 like high school girls. It's been a while since I read this. I think that the kids that we're following are in high school. So maybe that should have given me a clue that it was going to be, I don't know, not as scary, but I was really disappointed by this one. And that's why every time I see this cover, I'm like, oh, that Darcy Coates that I did not like. but I still want it in my Darcy Coates collection because I still will continue to buy her books. And I think I just need to, I think this is why it's my fault. I need to like look a little bit more at the synopsis and maybe do some research as to like, is it one of her more like atmospheric horrors, one of her more scary horrors, or like really light? So, because I think Darcy Coates is mostly atmospheric, cozy horror, but to me that wasn't even this. It's not like we were in a haunted house and you just kind of felt the like spooky vibes. It was not. It just wasn't good, I think. But maybe someone else would like this. This next book, I do not think is a me problem. I think this is the book's problem. I think this is a bad book. The third book in the Lightlark series made me so upset. Because I liked book one. Book one was fun and almost had this like whimsical YA fantasy feel to it. I don't think these are YA, but it felt like it. Book two did feel a little bit more like adult in my opinion, and because like love triangle, whatever. But it was also fun. This one was just chaos. It was so chaotic that it was confusing. It's like she tried to jam every thing she could, every like fantasy element that she could into one book, like portals and magic wands, like just everything. So it was like too much. And then, you know, there's a love triangle, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm Team Oro. I think everyone is Team Grimm, but I'm Team Oro. But I don't like in a love triangle when like she can like have relations with one man and then the next day like the other man. Like she really likes them both, and it was too much. This is like she spends one day with one and then the next day with the other, and both of these men just like have to have her, and I'm like, don't you see that like maybe she doesn't deserve you? I think it's a love triangle done poorly. That's what I think. I've read others that were much better. It's so disappointing. I was very excited to read this book. I wanted it in hardcover so that it matched the other ones, because under the dust jacket it's really pretty, and I could not wait to finish this. I could not care less. I think that our main character is just kind of like not a great woman, honestly. And I think that like the love scenes went too far. I think they kind of gradually got a little bit more adult. From what I remember, I haven't read the first and second book in a while, but I feel like they gradually got more icky. I think the fourth book is coming out this year and I do not plan to pick it up. I just don't think she's a great writer. The next ones I do not have physical copies of, thank God, because they all were so awful. But the first one, which made it to the Goodreads Choice Awards list, is The Crash by Frida McFadden. I think this has to be the worst book I read all year. Like, I cannot believe that this book exists, because this is a thriller, and this is the least thrilling book I've ever read. It was awful. We knew. There was no like mystery to it. We knew what was going on, so that takes away the thrill. She should have just made this. I mean, I've never read a McFadden book before, but this would have made a better like horror, because we know what's going on, but it wasn't scary. This should have been 1 point perspective, not 2, because if we have the other person's perspective, we know what's going on in this case. But this is about a pregnant woman who crashes, and this older man, not like crazy old, but like older, like I think that's how they describe him, just kind of like older, picks her up and takes her to his house, and they keep her in the basement, him and his wife, who's a nurse, and they don't let her leave. But like I said, there's no thrill to it, because we just knew. We knew. So I cannot believe that it made it to the Goodreads Choice Awards like list. Thank God it didn't win, because there's no way this deserved to win. And this makes me not want to ever pick up another one of her books, because I'm like, if this is how you write, like, you're an awful writer. And I know I'm being harsh, but if you spend hours reading a book, I think you can be kind of harsh with your ratings. The next book is The Maiden. This is a dark academia book, which doesn't have great reviews. I will say, I kind of went into this thinking that I might not like it, but one of my YouTubers, who I think we just have different tastes in some genres, I'm learning, but she really liked that book, and so I gave it a try. This had a terrible ending. Now, up until the ending, I still was not interested. Like, I didn't super care about this book. It was not super atmospheric, which is what I wanted. It's a dark academia book. Like, I thought it was like fine, but the ending was terrible. And I will say, the ending took me by surprise. I was not expecting that, but I thought it was terrible. It's like, oh my gosh, I read this whole book for this to be the ending? Like, that's awful. And it like, and this is probably the point, but it completely like ruins, I can't say it, but it ruins so much of this book that made us like feel things, because it is sad. There are parts of this book that are sad, but yeah, I thought this was terrible. This is about a group psychologist. Her niece is at Cambridge and her best friend is killed. So she goes to and she went to Cambridge. So she goes to see her niece. There are like a string of murders, and the dean or whoever, some person at the university, asks her to stay to try to figure out who this is, because she's a psychologist. I don't know. So she's trying to figure out who it is, but it wasn't that interesting, I thought, and then just had a terrible, terrible ending. And I get like a visceral reaction when I see this cover, because I'm like, oh, I was having such a good time making the vlog for this dark academia vlog, and I read this one and I was like, wow, that just sucked. I have a stack of books to my right that I could talk about, but the last one that I'll talk about, because is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And the cover's so pretty. Like, I'm gonna keep it because I love the cover. And it's a UK edition, but oh my god, this book was awful. And it's really funny because I'm reading Twilight right now, Eclipse, and Edward describes Wuthering Heights so perfectly. He says, Bella is reading Wuthering Heights because it's like her favorite book. She talks about how she's read it like so many times that the spine's breaking or whatever. And Edward says, I don't understand why you like it. The characters are ghastly people, who ruin each other's lives. I don't know how Heathcliff and Cathy ended up being ranked like couples like Romeo and Juliet or Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. It isn't a love story, it's a hate story. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, Edward. It's an awful story filled with terrible characters, and I felt like it was such a waste of time, and I personally don't understand why people like it. It's such a popular classic, and I mean, Bella, she defends it, and I was trying to see her side. I just thought it was a terrible book, and it took forever to get through, and it's hard reading a book where you don't like anyone. Like, if you don't like anyone in the book, then the story has to be really good. Like, it has to be really interesting because you want to know what's going to happen, even though the characters suck. All these characters are terrible and you don't care, you know? So I didn't care. Some of these books, like, I wish I hadn't read. Like, I'm like, why did I read this book? I probably should just DNF'd it. I'm glad I read Wuthering Heights because it is a classic. I wanted to know what it's about. Like, I'm glad I didn't DNF it, because then I would have wondered, like, okay, did the book actually get good? Some of these I feel like I just knew and should have DNF'd. Like, I should have DNF'd The Crash. I probably should have put down the Darcy Coast and just picked up, I knew it wasn't gonna get scary. Like, I feel like I knew that. I should have just put it down. like, yeah, like the others, I probably should just DNF'd, but I'm glad I finished Wuthering Heights. So that way, like, it's like, I feel like I checked it off, you know? Let me know in the comments what your least favorite books were of 2025. I'd be really curious to see. I'm so excited to rank all of my books because I have more that I want to talk about, and I'm curious to see like my ranking of them. I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be really fun because I like watching those videos. Like Sid Bookworm's about to come out with hers. I can't wait. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.